Thank you for the introduction. As mentioned, my name is Yvonne Karanja. I'm a PhD student in the Division of Biomedical Engineering at the University of Cape Town, and I'll be presenting on three-dimensional estimation of bone mineral density from X-ray images, application to spinal osteoporosis. As introduced by Dr. Mchangwa, I'll be presenting on a back-end framework for the diagnosis of osteoporosis from two-dimensional X-ray images. Osteoporosis is a disease that mainly affects the elderly, in particular postmenopausal women over the age of 50 and elderly men over the age of 70. And it's characterized by the loss of bone density as well as the deterioration of the bone's microarchitecture. This combination increases the fragility of bone, making it prone to fractures in the absence of trauma or any impact. And these fractures make the life of the elderly difficult, and therefore performing daily tasks become more difficult for them. Osteoporosis does not present any symptoms. However, patients do complain about mild pain and discomfort. To diagnose osteoporosis, a dedicated machine referred to as DEXA is used for the diagnosis, and this is a two-dimensional imaging modality. The images from DEXA have little to no soft tissue contrast, and therefore it's possible to determine the bone mineral density from the images of this modality. The main sites of imaging are the spine, so the L1 to the L4, the hip, and the wrist. The reports from the DEXA system are as presented here, and you can be able to determine whether a patient has osteoporosis or has normal bone mineral density. In the event that they have the low bone mineral density, then the doctor can intervene with medication. In South Africa, it's estimated that there are 4 DEXA machines per million population, while in contrast, there are 34.8 general X-ray machines per million population. And therefore, the availability of these X-ray machines is what motivates the project. And so my project is to develop a framework for estimating volumetric bone mineral density from X-ray images. The reason that we focus on volumetric bone mineral density is because of inaccuracies that have been observed from two-dimensional bone mineral density. And this will be explained in the example below, where there are 2 cubes. One cube has a bone mineral content of 1 gram and a projected area of 1 square centimeter. And the second cube has a bone mineral content of 8 grams and a projected area of 4 centimeters squared. And so in the event of calculating the volumetric bone mineral density, it can be seen that both cubes have the same distribution within the volume. However, when the aerial or the two-dimensional bone mineral density is calculated, the smaller cube presents a smaller distribution in comparison to the larger cube. And therefore, when it comes to diagnosis, individuals with larger bones have higher bone mineral content than people with smaller bones. For this project, we made use of 5 fresh frozen cadavers. The reason that they were fresh frozen was to prevent any influence from the embalming fluid. And they were imaged on 3 modalities, that is DEXA to determine the bone mineral content, CT to get a volumetric representation of the lumbar spine, and X-ray from which the bone mineral density would be measured. As mentioned, the framework will be one that tries to determine the 3-dimensional volume from 2-dimensional X-ray images. And to begin, we will first have the CT scans. These will be segmented to get the individual lumbar volumes, and these volumes will then be used in the construction of a model. As you can see from the clip, this model is deformable and therefore represents varying shapes as well as density distributions within the population, which is our sample set. An instance of this model will be selected, and artificial or virtual X-rays will be projected in the anterior, posterior, and lateral positions. These artificial X-rays will then after be compared to the actual real X-rays that we have and try to match the intensity values. The process is iterative. That means several instances will be generated, followed by several X-rays, and then matched to the actual X-rays that we have. And the goal is to find an instance where there is maximum similarity between the virtual X-rays and the actual X-rays that we have. And then this instance will be used for the bone mineral density estimation in a volumetric space. Currently, I've been able to construct a statistical shape model as one seen here, and this shows the variations in shape within the population, or rather within the sample set that I have. And thereafter, I'll be able to construct a a model that shows the distribution of the bone mineral density within these similar volumes. And so it's expected to have an affordable and accessible process for screening of osteoporosis, particularly in areas where DEXA machines are hard to find. And this eliminates travel time for the elderly to designated care centers that have DEXA machines. It will also reduce in imaging costs because X-ray scans are cheaper than DEXA scans. And so with this tool, a low-cost diagnostic tool, together with what my colleague Bessie has presented about having a secure and robust link, it will be possible to have this intervention used in various areas, improving diagnosis and longevity. Thank you very much, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you very much. Again, a very clear talk. One aspect that I'm unclear about is that presumably with X-ray signals, there is a lot of variability between machines, how they're taken, and this presumably creates a lot of noise. Do you anticipate that you might have to use reference objects with the X-ray so that you can normalize to a certain density, or how do you think you can address this problem?
Yeah, thank you for your question. So that is one concern that we have, that X-ray does have a lot of noise. However, given that we are using artificial X-rays, we will kind of have a way of modeling this pre-existing noise in the artificial X-rays that we have, and therefore it will be easier to match to the actual X-rays that we have. So that kind of normalizes the system for us. But it's something that we are preempting, and yeah, we hope that this will be able to cater for that is a discrepancy.
And in the small sample that you've measured, have you found promising trends?
So this is still our ongoing research. I haven't gotten to that stage yet, but once I do, I'll be very glad to report that back. Yeah.
Great. Well, good luck with that, Yvonne, and thank you very much for your talk.